Hello there! In this video, I'll review the rest of the lottery picks for the 2022 NBA Draft. And as you can see, I've assembled them in a remarkably high-tech and visually, aesthetically pleasing format. Copied and pasted random photos of each of the players into Microsoft Paint. So, the next pick, number 6, referring to this in relation to my previous video, Benedict Musarin, was, I think, consensus-wise, probably the sixth best player, maybe even higher. This is, I think, a very good pick for the Indiana Pacers. He'll probably start right away, and he has a whole heck of a lot of upside in terms of having shooting touch, having athleticism to get to the basket, finish over guys. Knock on Lutheran, I think, was how is he, in terms of translating all of that skill into making his team better? How does he improve the chances of the team to actually prevail? Is this a situation like earlier career Andrew Wiggins, where he puts up some superficially nice stats, but is not necessarily contributing to winning basketball on the part of the team? So that's the question with Lutheran. Now he goes to Indiana. He has Tyrese Halliburton. He almost had DeAndre Ayton, but nope. You have some solid veterans around him, and you're in a situation where he can get lots of minutes. Indiana won't be competing this year for anything, and so I think it's a very good pick, and he may well turn out to be one of the top 3 players in this draft. So I'd give this pick here an A. Up next, you have Shaden Sharp. And this pick was a little higher than anticipated. I think that it really surprised some people in terms of where Shaden Sharp was drafted. You know, when you're talking about Sharp, you're talking about a guy who hasn't really gone against top level talent. He's been able to dominate lesser talent, but he hasn't gone against that top tier talent, and that's a red flag. Because I can think of past guys like Thon Maker who dominated inferior talent pools and who looked the part of a high level NBA player, but when he got to the NBA, it didn't quite work out. And for the Blazers, it's a real head scratcher because they apparently still want to win now. Damian Lillard is in his prime still, I would say, even though he had a down year last year, but there were some injuries. You want to give him the best chance to keep winning now, and Sharp is more of a long-term pick, very risky pick. I think several other guys taken after him would have been better picks, and trading this pick for a veteran also would have been a better move for the Blazers. For them to draft, I think, a very unproven player is highly questionable. So I'd give this pick a D minus, frankly. I think this is a very bad pick. I'd be surprised if Shaden Sharp turns out to be a high level NBA player, but maybe he'll prove me wrong. We'll find out. Next pick is the New Orleans Pelicans drafted Dyson Daniels. Now, the thing with Dyson Daniels is, consensus wise, probably the best defensive project in the draft, and that's nice. Maybe some comparisons even to like a Scotty Barnes in terms of being a very high level defender, able to defend multiple positions. I know different position, but overall, at 6'6", truthfully, and with a pretty good wingspan, he can probably switch on to some fours. Talking about a guy who can probably defend 1 through 4 at the NBA level. The question is, can this guy shoot? You might remember That's what the questions were about Scotty Barnes coming into the league as well. He was a guy who came in physically ready to play in the NBA. Thought of as a guy who would play good defense, but had not yet demonstrated the ability to consistently shoot the ball. Turns out in the pros he was a better shooter than what he had demonstrated before. So is that who Dyson Daniels is going to be? Or is he going to be a guy who can play some defense but really can't contribute much on offense? So basically, are you getting a smaller version of Scotty Barnes? Or are you getting Bruce Bowen without the jumper? If he turned out to be an incredible defender, because Bruce Bowen was a really great defender, even when he wasn't kicking people. I think the pick is a good one, though. I think I would definitely take a risk there. I think Pelicans have room to. It fits seemingly what they're going for in terms of pesky defenders. And so I like the pick. I would give it a B plus. Next pick up is Jeremy So. I've heard this guy's name and I'm blanking on it. Sokin. I hope I'm saying it right. Apologies if I'm not. Kind of like Daniels, he's regarded as a great defender. Not a guy who can shoot yet. Now he's a bigger guy than Daniels. He's maybe even more so like Scotty Barnes. So listed at 6'9", 230 pounds. That tells me that he can probably defend 4 and 5. He's considered to be athletic enough to switch on to guards situationally. That's nice. He goes to San Antonio. So he gets coached by a Greg Popovich who likes players who like to defend. Seems like a pretty good fit. San Antonio's obviously in a rebuilding phase. They're wanting to get #1 overall pick this year. I don't know how much Sokin's going to be able to contribute on offense this year, but he'll probably flash the defensive skills. And so, honestly, pretty good pick, I would say. I'd give it a B plus because I'm a miser. I don't like giving A's. I'm that professor, except I'm not a professor. Next pick is Johnny Davis. A little bit higher than what I thought Johnny Davis would be picked. He's kind of an undersized two-guard. Slightly undersized. Kind of like a Gary Harris type of player. It'd be nice for him if he's able to play the level of defense that Gary Harris was able to play, especially in his prime before the injuries took their toll. I don't like this pick that much, per se. I think there were a couple of guys who I would have taken above him. So I'd give this pick a C. Now, there are people who are much higher on this pick than I am. So probably, I don't know if I'm in the minority. Maybe I'm in the minority on this one. There are certainly people who think very highly of him. So there's a counter argument to be had that he's actually a very good player. We'll find out. Up next is Ousmane Dieng. So Ousmane Dieng is a very long guy who is a little bit raw, but has a lot of potential. So, question: is he Giannis or is he Bruno Caboclo? I don't know, but at number 11, it's worth a try. Oklahoma City likes really long players, and he's really long. They like players with a lot of upside. He has a lot of upside, so I mean it fits. Why not? I'll give the pick a B because I would have taken maybe somebody's had to come. Number 12 is Jalen Williams, as opposed to Jalen Duran. Jalen Williams is a long shooting guard who was not thought of really as a lottery pick by many. I think this pick surprised some. I'm honestly not. Well, okay. OKC. They like players who are long. Just a little bit surprised by it. And, I mean, maybe he turns out. to me, he projects as a guy who's going to come off the bench and play situational minutes, maybe like an Austin Rivers type player. But, maybe I'm wrong. I'd give the pick a C, though. Number 13, Jalen Duren. I think he could have gone a couple picks higher. He has a lot of upside as a 5 who's pretty mobile and can build an offensive skill set. So I like the pick a lot for Detroit. He has the potential to become a starter there. And I do like Mark Williams more, actually, as an NBA prospect. So I actually would have taken Mark Williams here. But a lot of people thought that Jalen Duren was possibly a top 10 pick. And so I would give this pick a thumbs up. Entirely reasonable. I'd give it an A minus. And then, next up is somebody whose name I'm probably going to butcher. Ochai Agbaji. Honestly, I was not very familiar with him. And so he is somebody who got drafted. Um, I really don't know much about him. But Cleveland likes him. And, he's 22. He might not get that much better. Maybe he can contribute, or maybe not. I probably wouldn't have taken him here. And so I'll give this pick a C because. Because. Finally. Actually, that's it. That's the lottery. Right? Alright. That's a wrap. Most awkward video finish ever. I'm new to this YouTube thing.